Look at this app. You can scroll the feed, double tap to like a post, open a profile, and share content. It works flawlessly. But to understand how it was made, we have to go back to when none of this existed. I gave myself exactly 60 minutes to turn an entirely empty folder into a fully functional social platform using Claude Code. The rules were absolute. No starter projects, no pre-written code, and the second the timer hits 0, my hands are off the keyboard, even if the app is entirely broken. This diagram shows the core loop we need to build. A user views a post, reacts, comments, shares it, and brings in a new viewer. Sticking a share button on a page does not make a product viral. Growth has to be engineered directly into the mechanics of how people interact. No coding tool can magically guarantee you an audience. My job was to design the specific engagement engine that could actually support that growth. With 58 minutes left on the clock, I opened Claude Code and fed it a highly detailed build brief. A vague request like "build me a social app" leaves dozens of decisions unresolved. Instead, I explicitly defined our tech stack, the required database structure, the visual style, and the absolute minimum features we needed for version 1. Within a few minutes, Claude Code mapped out the project structure, installed the dependencies, and gave us a responsive shell, complete with a navigation bar and feed cards populated by placeholder data. The interface looked entirely convincing, and that is where the danger lies. A polished front end creates a very convincing illusion of a finished product long before any real logic is actually holding it together. At the 50-minute mark, it was time to move past the visual shell and build out the authentication layer and the database schema for our users and posts. Everything seemed to click. I signed up a test user, the feed populated, and reactions updated perfectly on the screen. Then I hit refresh, and every piece of data completely vanished. The interface only updated locally. This flowchart illustrates exactly what was happening. We had a data packet originating from a button click in the UI, but it was failing halfway down the pipeline and dropping out entirely before it ever reached the database. Instead of saying "fix it," I asked Claude Code to strictly trace this reaction flow. By narrowing the scope, the AI identified the error and applied a localized fix. Now, the data packet hits the database and returns a confirmation signal. Artificial intelligence is an incredibly powerful coding engine, but when logic failures occur, it requires a human developer to act as a highly specific steering wheel. With 29 minutes remaining, the basic app worked, but it still felt like a quiet feed. It was time to inject the specific mechanics needed to drive participation. First, we removed the standard like button. Instead, every post received 2 distinct reaction choices. This forces users to make a low-friction decision and gives them an immediate reason to engage. Second, the moment a user makes that choice, the app reveals the live community reaction split. Seeing exactly where you stand against everyone else triggers immediate curiosity and naturally pulls you directly into the comment section. Finally, I asked Claude Code build a scoring formula to rank trending posts based on recent comment volume and capped it off by generating a shareable message containing the live poll results. A participation loop does not happen by accident. You have to make deliberate engineering choices designed to systematically pull people deeper into the ecosystem. At 19 minutes, I fell into a trap every builder recognizes, obsessing over minor styling tweaks, refining spacing, and trying to perfect the layout. I asked for a series of design improvements, and while the AI completed them quickly, one of those styling passes completely broke the feed on small screens right as the clock started running low. I didn't have time to debug CSS. I had to revert the risky layout change and prioritize the core user journey. The app needed to work perfectly on a phone. Everything else was optional. With 10 minutes left, I stopped adding features entirely and pushed the code to production. The very first deployment immediately failed due to an environment configuration mismatch. I fed the build log back into Claude, applied the updated setting, and hit deploy one last time, watching the live URL load just as the final 3 seconds ticked off the clock. Severe time constraints force you to stop polishing. You have to choose raw functionality and survival over aesthetic perfection. So the clock is at 0. Let's take a calm look at the actual live application we built. A new user can create a profile, publish a post, and react to other people's opinions in real time. And most importantly, All of that data actually survives a browser refresh. However, this diagram shows the technical debt we are left with. We are missing moderation tools, security reviews, security rate limiting, and analytics. This prototype is nowhere near ready for millions of users. A 60-minute AI sprint provides enough momentum to prove a concept works. It does not provide the time needed to test security, scalability, or product-market fit. So, can Claude Code build a share-driven social media app in an hour? Yes. It provides an incredible amount of momentum, handling repetitive setup and connecting features across multiple files. We are seeing a distinct shift in software engineering. The primary job of a developer is moving away from writing raw syntax and toward functioning as a high-speed product director. You can try the live app for yourself right now, and you'll find the exact prompts and project breakdown in the description below. To see how far we can push modern coding tools, make sure to subscribe. Modern AI tools have not eliminated the hard parts of software development. They have simply changed what those hard parts are.